We're ready here now for the start of the women's quad. We've 12 boats in this. Carndoo, Passage West, Killorglin B, Arklow, Timpleno, Portmagee, Ring, Kilmac-Simon, Carndoo, Killorglin, Castle Townsend and Cove. And we're away. What beautiful, beautiful conditions here. Look at this. It is just fabulous. There's no point calling boats at the moment because we're going to come into a little bottleneck as we head out by the island. So we just have to wait and see. It looks away across like Timpleno may be showing, but there's no point in we starting a call until we get broadside. This reminds us of the old days of sailboat racing in Portmagee, where we've had up to 10 or 12 sailboats. But this new type of rowing has just taken off with our local crew, Portmagee, here rowing on our left, really embracing it. As we look up the front there, it looks to me like Killorglin, Cox by Deirdre. So that would be boat 192. It looks to me like Killorglin are out in front. Maybe Carndoo are in second. We have to stay behind the boats here to give them fair play, but once we get out beyond the island, we'll swing around and we'll pick up on who's who. It looks at the moment like Castle Townsend are in third position. Killorglin now beginning to power on out Cox by Deirdre. They have a good advantage. The main thing is to get out of here without clashing with another boat. As we look back here at the end of the field, we have Timpleno and Cove. They're having a few problems with their oars here, the Cove boat. But as we look up along an absolute minefield of boats and athletes, isn't this what we want to see? You couldn't be in a safer place today out in the water in these conditions. Yes, it's definitely Killorglin that are in the lead. All these crews train very, very hard. Killorglin are in a commanding lead in first with Castle Townsend in second, and it's Carndoo now in third. Carndoo have pulled away maybe 4 to 5 lengths now. The first, second and third boat have opened up a nice little gap. And it looks like the second Killorglin crew are now in fourth position. And at the moment it's Passage West who are in fifth. Killorglin have just cleared their stern ahead of them. So as they're round the first markers, it's Killorglin A with a 3-length advantage over Castle Townsend in second. Castle Townsend holding 2 lengths of their boat over Carndoo A in third. Then it's Killorglin B in fourth. And it's Passage West in fifth. Yes, Portmagee are in sixth position, but they're being challenged now. Really difficult race for them here. They're being challenged by Arklow, who are in seventh position. Arklow just run right up beyond their stern. So it's very, very tight here for fourth, fifth, sixth and seventh. So to look again at the placing so far is Killorglin in first, Castle Townsend in second, Carndoo in third, Killorglin B in fourth, Passage West in fifth, Arklow and Portmagee fighting out. Portmagee just in 6th, Arklow in 7th. A beautiful, beautiful sight here. We've got boats 4, 5, 6 and 7 almost touching stem to stern. That's how close it is for positions out here. Killorgley now coming into the 3rd marker, looking quite comfortable. Just a slight little bit of a swell with the breeze out here now, but it's still lovely for rowing. Killorgley now heading in under Filehammer. They're holding a good 4-length advantage now over Castletownshend in 2nd. In 3rd, Castletownshend had maybe 5 boat lengths over Caddendew in 3rd. Coming in then into the buy in 4th is Killorgley B. And then we've 3 boats down on top of each other. We have Passage West, Portmagee and Arklow. They're all coming around safely. All around safely. As we look up the front, Killorgley going right in under Filehammer now. Portmagee now beginning to make a push. Portmagee beginning to challenge Passage West now. Passage answering the challenge. These guys train so hard. Our local Portmagee crew have trained viciously for this all year long, really. A great bunch. Now, very cute coxing there by Portmagee and David Hussey. He went for the left but popped to the right. He's making one hell of a surge here. Fantastic. And he has just mowed down Passage West. Portmagee now have just moved into 5th. So as things stand, Killorgley Boat A in 1st place. 2nd, Castletownshend. 3rd, Caddendew. 4th, Killorgley B. 5th now, Portmagee. 6th, Passage West. And 7 is Arklow. What a polished performance here by Killorgley and indeed Castletownshend. And you must praise Caddendew as well, but Portmagee are really getting it together here now, David. They're beginning to challenge for 4th, sorry. They're closing up in 4th position with every stroke. The local crew being roared on here. And they're answering to the support they're getting. The pressure is on here now. If you want placings, you've got to put it in here now before we go back into the straight. Up front, Killorgley A dominating. Castletownshend in a very good 2nd position. Caddendew reasonably comfortable in 3rd. We've Killorgley B in 4th, but Portmagee closing with every stroke. Then we have Passage West and Arklow very, very close together and fighting it out. Looks like Arklow are beginning to challenge Passage. They're practically over and over. Maybe Passage just holding it, but it's very, very tight between them. Barring a disaster at this stage, I can see it changing. It looks like Killorgley will hold on to their dominating position in 1st. Castletownshend looking very comfortable in 2nd, and so too with Caddendew in 3rd. But with every stroke, Portmagee are closing and closing on Killorgley B. as we head in out for the final straight. It's down to Portmagee if they want to push up the rankings here. They have Killarglen B in their sights. Killarglen B holding a length and a half of a boat race over Portmagee. And as we look there at Passage West and Arklow, a super race between them. Oh, this is really top drawer performance here from Killarglen. Cox there by the Carcevine woman Deirdre. She loves her sport, loves rowing, and of course you can't forget Mike Fleming, who's involved with every one of these crews, training them to a high standard. A brilliant man for rowing, highly respected. Killarglen too, and the Killarglen Club, that's who we look up to. We want to get where they're at. They're setting the standards, and what standards they're setting. So it's Killarglen heading up by the island now and proudly heading into the village with a commanding lead in first. So as we head in this women's quad final, what a class performance here from Killarglen. Beautiful rowing here too by Castle Townsend. And don't forget Karen Dew. Another great performance from this great club as we head in for the finish in Portmagee village. We get up here now for the finish of this one. Try not to upset the boats in the water. Real polished performance here from Killarglen. Cox by Deirdre coming in first. Looking very relaxed, very professional. You'd have to take your hats off to a performance like that. That is simply an exhibition of rowing. In come Castle Townsend in second. Karen Dew coming in third. As we come in here now, it's Killarglen B being challenged hard by the local crew Portmagee, but Killarglen answering the challenge. And then we have Passage West and Arklow.
Take the race of Portmagee. They put in an absolutely fantastic race.
Well done!
Well done, Portmagee! What a powerful start there by Florida. They're a reigning champion. It looks like they're holding on to a great advantage at the start.
Amazing. We have Killorglin in first, we have Killorglin in second, and we have Killorglin in third. And then we have Carndoo in fourth. As we head on now for the first marker, we have Killorglin out in front, followed by in second, 3 lengths back is Killorglin. Another 3 lengths back is Killorglin in third position. So we have 1, 2 and 3 from Killorglin. In fourth is Carndoo. In fifth is Castle Townsend. And in sixth, Rosscarbery. And then we have the Bay in 7. So we're coming in now to the first marker. Killorglin looking very comfortable. They've now opened up maybe a 4-length advantage over Killorglin in second, who in turn have a 4-length advantage over Killorglin in third. But their Killorglin are under pressure from Carndoo in a very good fourth position, right on their stern. And so too with Castle Townsend. They are on the stern. So it's quite interesting there for fourth and fifth. But 1, 2, 3 and Killorglin as we head for the second marker. Testing 1, 2. As we come into the third set of markers, I think he lost us there for a while. Killorglin are in first, Killorglin are in second. And Killorglin are in third. In fourth is Carndoo, in fifth is Castle Townsend, sixth Rosscarbery, and in seventh place is the Bay. As we head now for the fourth marker, Killorglin coming in quite comfortable with a lead of 5 to 6 lengths. Yes, we're now rounding under Filehammer. A lovely lead by Killorglin. A 5-length advantage now over Killorglin in second. Another 5 lengths back to third position. And in fourth it's Castle Townsend, who are now gone into fourth with Carndoo in fifth. But don't rule out Carndoo because they're right on their stern. And in sixth position is Rosscarbery. The three of them are all bunched in there together. Killorglin just holding third there from the chasing pack. There's 3 in that pack. So that's where the battle is going on. As we look up front again, Killorglin rowing away very, very comfortably, extending their lead stroke by stroke. What an amazing sight here in this final to see Killorglin 1, 2 and 3. But 3 are coming under pressure. 3 are coming under pressure from Castle Townsend with every stroke. Inside them then we can see Carndoo, and outside them is Rosscarbery. What a performance here from Killorglin. This goes to show if you put in the work, you will reap the rewards. As I said earlier, what a team they have training them up there with Mike Fleming and Deirdre. They have a big gang working hard, and it's showing here today. Killorglin still in 1, 2 and 3, followed by Castle Townsend and Carndoo. And don't forget Rosscarbery in 6th. Still all bunched in there together. This may change before we get to the finish. Let's wait and see. This is beautiful to watch. Castle Townsend, they're not going away. They're staying right on the stern of Killorglin. It's like they're almost waiting for the perfect moment to strike. As we look up front, Killorglin 1 and 2 have opened a nice distance, but you know something? The pressure that's coming on Killorglin in third position from Castle Townsend is getting them up their game. They've actually closed quite a bit now in third position. And they're beginning to open a link to the boat again now in Castle Townsend. They're answering the challenge. A great performance here from the 3rd Killargan crew. They're answering the challenge. They have a link and a half now, their boat. And in 5th, Carndoo. As we head up the straight now, heading up for the island, heading into the beautiful village of Portmagee. You'll be a proud Killargan man or a proud Killargan woman to witness this. They're looking for the perfect performance, 1, 2 and 3. But Castle Townsend are putting on mighty pressure now. They're right up on the stern of Killargan. They've shoved a foot up beyond their stern. Castle Townsend are going for it. They know they have about 2 to 3 minutes rowing. They are piling it on now. They're halfway up the Killargan boat. They're halfway up the Killargan boat. Killargan looking across. They know they need to find another bit. They know they have to close the door on this one. But Castle Townsend are coming up the side with every stroke. They're almost over and over. Oh, this is beautiful racing. As we head up now for Corriglee, it's almost over and over for 3rd position. Killargan just holding by 3 to 4 feet. They're answering the challenge again. Oh, this is super racing. Super racing. They're right alongside each other. They're not hindering each other. Killargan, half the boat out for 3rd position. Killargan holding the lead, holding 2nd, just holding 3rd. Oh, there's a bit of slashing of oars here. Killargan, Castle Townsend gone foul. They're gone foul. They've stopped rowing. They've oars up, and it's going to hand the advantage now to 2 and 7. Carndoo are now gone into 3rd on to that clash. Castle Townsend are now gone into 4th. Killargan in 5th, but Killargan coming back again.
Come on, Gary. Come on. That's it.
So it's 2 and 7. Carndoo are now in 3rd. Castle Townsend are coming back in them. Killargan are coming with them. Oh, Jesus, this is brilliant. This is brilliant. What a race we have here for 3rd. At the moment, it's Carndoo holding it. On to the clash. Castle Townsend. Killargan practically over and over. They're closing back down in 3rd position. Man, this is heaven. I'm sure it's hell for those rowing, but this is beautiful. Carndoo still holding 3rd. Carndoo still in 3rd. Castle Townsend in 4th. Killargan in 5th. But I'm only talking feet. I'm only talking inches. We see Killargan going on for 1 and 2. The battle is for 3rd. Carndoo still holding it. Castle Townsend in 4th. Killargan right on their stern in 5th. And don't forget Ross Carberry. This is superb. Oh, that was super racing. This should be pay-per-view. I'd pay for it. It is absolutely fabulous. Killargan going for 1 and 2. Carndoo in 3rd. Being challenged all the way by Castle Townsend. Killargan right on their tail. Oh, it's super as we come for the finish here of this women's double. I wish we could have it all over again. That was fabulous. As we come for the finish, look at this. Killargan 1 and 2. Carndoo just holding 3rd, and Castle Townsend coming with every stroke. Don't rule out Castle. They'll make one more sprint for the finish. Oh, we need our dinners smiling with this one. This is what we've come to see. They're pushing all the way. Castle Townsend pushing all the way. Carndoo holding on. Judges be on the line for this. Oh, this is brilliant. Look at this for the finish. You wouldn't get this anywhere else in the world. Only Portmagee today. This is fabulous. Ireland 1 and 2 home and dry. Candu still holding third. Castletown breathing down their necks. Ireland just slipping back a small bit now. Give these guys a good round of applause. This is fabulous. Fair play to these women in this doubles. It is brilliant.
And we're off in the first race of the day, the men's double final. And there's a very early showing from Myris, the crew of Kenneth McCarthy and Kevin McCarthy pulling strong. After that then you have Calnafercy, Ross Carberry, Cloran, Kilmac Simon and Arklow all making early showings. As we approach the tight part of the course, there's already been one little clash, but they're all off again, and Myers are still showing out ahead. The Ross Carberry crew of Ryan Spielman and Keelan Mannix have now taken the lead over Myris, followed closely by Calnafercy. As crews head out towards the first turn, it's still Ross Carberry, followed by Myris, the Bay and Calnafercy still fighting it out for third place, with the composite crew of Kilmac Simon and Cloran hot on their tails. And as they go around the first turn, it's Ross Carberry, followed by Myris, followed by the Bay, followed very closely by Cloran, Kilmac Simon and Calnafercy. Bantry are right up after those. All boats are now around the first turn, and as they head out to the second, it's still Ross Carberry, followed by Myris, followed by the Bay.
Now gone into fourth.
Kilmac Simon and Cloran have now overtaken Calnafercy into fourth place as they try and catch down the Bay. As they head out towards turn 3 in challenging conditions, Ross Carberry still out with a mighty lead. Myris in second place, followed by the Bay, with Cloran and Kilmac Simon now safely in fourth place, followed by Calnafercy and Bantry. Ross Carberry now turning by 3. a couple of lengths back to Myris, another couple of lengths back to the Bay. Kilmac-Simon Cloran hot on their heels again, followed by Clonafurcy and Bantry. And then there's only a couple of lengths between the following boats: Kilorglin, Arklow, Castletownshend and Kilmac-Simon. Absolutely nothing between the top 4, 5, 6 boats here, with Ross Carberry going around the next turn, followed by Myris and the Bay, Kiloran, Kilmac-Simon and Clonafurcy, all holding their positions at the moment. Jesus, they're very close. Yeah. Ross Carberry still out in the lead, just around turn 5, as all boats are now heading for home in quite choppy conditions. So Ross Carberry out with a nice lead, again followed by Myris, the Bay, Kilmac-Simon, Kiloran. We're now all heading to the last straight in Corrigley, just under Corrigley. They're all going to turn 6, the final turn of the race. Ross Carberry currently have about 7 or 8 lengths on Myra, sitting in second place, followed by the Bay, Kilmac-Simon, Kiloran, Clonafurcy, Bantry, and only a couple of lengths back to Castletownshend, Arklow, Kilorglin and Kilmac-Simon. Bantry are making a move here, are they? Bantry, 185, they're making a move. Did they? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Bantry, who are now currently sitting in 6th place, are making a move for it. They're going for Clonafurcy, trying to take down crew one by one. But as they're heading towards the 6th turn, the final turn, it's still Ross Carberry with about 7 or 8 lengths over Myris, followed closely by the Bay and Kilmac-Simon / Kiloran. They are motoring on. And as they head into the last 1100 metres of the race, it's Ross Carberry around that final turn, heading for home, followed by Myris, followed by the Bay. That's 3 crews on the way home. And there are 3 boats, Kilmac-Simon, Kiloran, Clonafurcy and Bantry fighting it out.
That's the powerful race.
That is, yeah.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6 boats.
And out ahead as they head for home, they're on the home stretch. It's still Ross Carberry with that big lead over Myris. The Bay are now trying their best to overtake Myris, followed by Kiloran, Kilmac-Simon in 4th place. Only a couple of lengths back then you've Clonafurcy and Bantry, followed by Castletownshend, Arklow, Kilmac-Simon and Kilorglin. Ross Carberry still motoring away out ahead. Myris and the Bay fighting it out for 2nd and 3rd places. Now as they head home into flatter water, still Ross Carberry dominating this race out ahead, with the Bay and Myris fighting it out for those 2nd and 3rd places. The Bay are making their move, but Myris are responding with every single stroke. What distance is it here from the island to from this little island to 500 meters?
Yeah, that's all.
Yeah.
More. The others by about 500.
500.
They're almost going over now.
Yeah. As crews head for the last 500 metres, it's still Ross Carberry out ahead. That young crew of Keelan Mannix and Ryan Spellman, followed by, there's a great race here between Myris and the Bay for second and third places. They're fighting it out. The Bay are coming for them every single stroke, with Myris responding. But the Bay are looking very strong here. The gap between second and third and first place are now closing up, with Myris and the Bay coming up behind Ross Carberry. Ross needs to start making a move. Now the top three places are, they're all up for grabs now. Things are changing with Ross Carberry. The Bay flying up behind them, followed by Myris. But it's looking right now that the Bay are the strongest. They are pulling up every single stroke. They're going for Ross. Fecking hell.
Oh man, this is lovely.
The Bay are making their move. They're looking like they're going to overtake Ross. Ross need to go if they want to win this race. The Bay have overtaken Myris. They're comfortably in second. They're going for that first place. Come on, lads. Ross Carberry need to make their move if they want to win this. The Bay are coming for them. What a race.
Come on, lads.
Here between Ross Carberry and the Bay, there is nothing between them. Absolutely nothing. The Bay are going for it. The Bay, I think the Bay have it. It is neck and neck. This is going to have to come down to the cameras.
What a race.
Between Ross Carberry and the Bay. First and second, I cannot call it. Followed by Myris in third place. Coming up behind them, Killorn Kilmac Simon. Followed by Calna Farsi and Bantry fighting it out.
Amazing.
Holy crap, did they get it?
Testing 1, 2. Lovely rowing. Great stuff. At the moment we have Acklow off to a flyer, Cormac Kelly in second place, it's Gavin O'Flaherty with Passage West in second, and in third it's Galliflash, John Harrington. All the other boats in bunched in there together. So as I said, a great start here for Acklow and Cormac Kelly. He's opened up maybe a 4 to 5 linked advantage now over second place Passage West. As things stand at the moment, it's still Cormac Kelly out in front. In second, it's Galliflash with John Harrington. In third place is Passage West. Gavin O'Flaherty, and in fourth is Ross Carberry, Keelan Mannix. Beautiful conditions out here. Water quite calm as we head out now, gone past the little island. These guys know there's a long course ahead of them. All very relaxed, beautiful styles of rowing, very colourful. As we head out now for the first marker. Looking up front there, Arklow looking quite comfortable. The boats are beginning to spread out a bit wide across the channel. It looks to me at the moment like Galley Flash have now gone into the lead, just by half a length from Arklow in second, and Passage West in a good third position here. There's only about a length of the boat between the first three. As we head for around the first marker, we have a bit of a change now. Ross Carberry, Keelan Mannix has hit the front. In second now is John Harrington, Galley Flash in second. As we head now into the second marker, it's Galley Flash, John Harrington that's leading it out now. In second, Keelan Mannix from Ross Carberry. In third, it's Bantry, Andrew Hurley, and in fourth, Arklow moving back to fourth now. Cormac Kelly feeling the pressure there. He's now back in fourth. So up front, it's the famous Galley Flash and John Harrington. We head on now for the third marker. John stretching out a boat length now on Ross Carberry in second. Ross Carberry holding a 3 to 4 length advantage now on Bantry and Hurley in third. Bantry holding a 2 to 3 length advantage over Arklow in fourth. Conditions a little choppy but quite manageable. Everything is quite visible out here. A lovely, lovely race this. They're all bunched in there together. The only one that has fallen off the pace a small bit is David Duggan of Kilmac-Simon, but in fairness, he's an awful lot of rowing done over the last 2 days. The body is bound to be feeling it. While I have this opportunity, I'd just like to thank Marguerite from Rung Island for all her help there on Thursday night. While David Hussey went for his second dinner and dessert, Marguerite offloaded over 50 barriers and set them all up, and has been a great help to us all weekend. So a special mention there. And as we look at the first marking, there's a tangle there between the first and second boat. Ross Carberry took the lead there for a minute after that foul, but normality is restored again. Galley Flash back in the lead again. That'll tell you how close they are. They're almost oar and oar as they head into the fourth or fifth rounding. Yes, Galley Flash coming into now, they've half their boat out again. John Harrington round clear, he's a stern clear again of Mannix rowing for Ross Carberry. And coming in third is Hurley from Bantry. Great oars people down in Bantry. And in comes Arklow. Arklow closing right up on their stern again now. And then we have Lavin from Bantry, Castle Townsend. But then we head back up the front again. It's quite close between these two. As we head in under Filehammer, a huge battle going on between these two. They have pulled away maybe 4 to 5 lengths now over the chasing pack. But it's still John Harrington leading the line, but just about. Ross Carberry are halfway up his boat again. Oh, it's nip and tuck between the two of these two great athletes. We are blessed to be witnessing this again. What a great race we had earlier. What a great commentary. Far more civilised than mine. as we head on now for the last marker before we head in the straight for home. Oh, this is beautiful, beautiful racing. 1 and 2 are up alongside each other again, and at the moment it looks like Ross Carberry are hitting the front. Yes, Ross Carberry piling it on here now and almost have their steering clear. A massive push here. Almost has his steering clear as we're about a minute's rowing from the last rounding before we go for the straight. Yes, boat 1, 2, 4 has now hit the front. We're 10 strokes from the last rounding. Ross Carberry, Keelan Mannix, he's opened up a boat link now on Galley Flash, and John Harrington in second. They've pulled away now a good 3 to 4 lengths over Andrew Hurley rowing for Bantry, and Acklo just slipping back maybe a further 2 lengths in 4th position. But as we look up front now, Mannix beginning to show his power, his strength, his navigation skills. As we straighten for home, he can see the bridge now, he can see the little island, he can see the beautiful village of Portmagee, and he wants it, and he's going for it. He's opened up a 2-length advantage now. As we come for the island in this men's solo final, it's Keelan Mannix. He's definitely had his Weetabix this morning. He's opened up a 3-length boat advantage. He's putting savage pressure on Galley Flash and John Harrington. What a fine oarsman Harrington is. Beautiful style. Beautiful, beautiful style. Very relaxed rowing. Really professional to watch. He's holding his 2nd position by about 5 lengths now on Hurley from Bantry. As we head in now for the finish, a real top draw performance here from Mannix. As we pass up now by the island, Ross Carberry and Mannix still holding their 3-4 length advantage over Galley Flash and Harrington in second. About 500 metres to go. Great rowing, lads, great stuff. As we come in here for the finish of the men's solo, look at this for an exhibition. This is beautiful, beautiful rowing. These guys, they've worked so hard all year. As I said yesterday, it's a lonely, lonely place to be, especially with lockdown training away on your own. And when you get a chance like this today, you go for it. It is absolutely beautiful. Delighted with these athletes and the long journeys they've made. It's worth it all when you're leading it all out into the Portmagee village in front. What a proud moment for Mannix here as he rows in to the village of Portmagee with a 4-length advantage over 2nd place Harrington rowing for Galley Flash, and what a performance he has put in. And look at Hurley. Hurley has rowed beautifully all around the course, and he's not far away at all. He'll probably run out of water, but he's closing with every stroke. But 1st, 2nd and 3rd will be delighted with their performances. And as we look back there, Acklo led this one for a long ways, but just ran out of steam. And look at this, as Mannix heads in here, proudly going to take this title, and was well challenged all the way around by Harrington from Galley Flash, and in a very worthy position in 3rd, it's going to be Hurley from Bantry. What a fabulous sight here as we head out by the island. A little clash there with Templenoe and Calnifercy. That's a pity. That's the last thing we wanted to see. But up front, it's Myross getting a great start with Passage moving into second. We're going to go up now on the outside, see can we get who's where. That was a pity for Calnifercy there. It has driven them back to course quite a bit. There was enough water, but it's just one of those things. So we've now passed the island, pressure on here now. This is the big one. In first place it's Myross. Myross leading by maybe half a boat length from Passage West in second. Passage going well, beautiful rowing. They've opened up now maybe a length on St. Michael's. St. Michael's in third and going well. All bunched in there together. This is beautiful. This is beautiful as we head back by the beautiful little beach of Coosheen. St. Michael's feeling the heat. They've dropped to fourth. It's now Wicklow. Wicklow in third. In second, Passage West. And first, it's Myross. Myross now. They have a length and a half, maybe 2 lengths of their boat out. They're beginning to get a little bit of a passage there together. They're looking good. We can see the first marker in sight. These lads have trained hard for this. Their Cox looks back there. She knows they're slipping away nicely. She's where she wants to be. She's out of trouble. She's heading for the first marker. She's smiling. As we look back now to second place, it's really tightening up here. A super race in progress. Passage West are over and over with Wicklow. This is beautiful stuff. Beautiful stuff. Nobody's panicking. They know there's a long race. They've pulled away now from St. Michael's, maybe another length and a half. And up front, all going well for Myross. A very polished crew here. Beautiful rowing. They're enjoying it. I just got a phone call there. Marguerite, I believe you had a big dinner last night, but it's what you had after the dinner that's beginning to worry us. So lads, keep an eye on her. Her husband isn't around today. Keep her away from the water's edge. We cannot let anything happen, Marguerite, today. Back to the race. Up front, it's Myross. They've extended now a 3 boat length advantage. And as we look across, it's still a huge battle between Passage West and Wicklow. They're still over and over. A link behind them in fourth, it's St. Michael's. They're all pulling away from the pack now. As we come around the first marker, Myross around it safely. And we have a change out here. Wicklow have now gone into second, and a damn good second. They're beginning to close down on the leaders, Myross, as we head for the second rounding. They've opened maybe a link now on Passage West in third. Still back and forth, St. Michael's drifting 2 lengths off. And up front, all going well for Myross. The Cox still looking back. I suppose you're never happy with where you are. You always want a bit more, but they're around the second marker safely. They've opened 3 lengths. As we look back to field there now, Muckross beginning to motor a bit. Muckross are in 5th place, but they're getting it together now and they're coming back into this race. But up front as we head into the next marker, in first place it's Myross, Castle Townsend, and they're going very well. They've opened up a 3 length boat advantage over Wicklow in second. Wicklow now have pulled away 2 lengths over Passage West in third. Passage holding 2 lengths on St. Michael's in fourth. We now row in under Filehammer, a famous place, a pile of history attached to this little harbour. This is where the transatlantic cable was laid many moons ago, and there's more history being made here today as Myross stretch their lead now to a 4 length advantage over Wicklow. In second place, Wicklow 2 stretch their advantage. They have a 3-length advantage over Passage West in third. Then it's St. Michael's in fourth. It's Muckross in fifth. And Temple No in sixth. We've 2 more markers. They're around it now. They're on the next one. They've left with 1 more and then they're in the straight. And they'll head for the village. This is a cracker. I look across there at the boat following the race. I can see Paul Barrick. The eyes are standing in his head. So too with his brother Michael. Put him near a boat with more than 2 men in the water and they just lose the rag. What a history of rowing they've put down. Rowing for donkey's years. He told me yesterday he's going to buy a single. He's addicted to rowing. And after what he saw this weekend in Portmagee, he's going to join the pack. Back to the race. Ross still holding the 4-length advantage over Wicklow in second. But Wicklow beginning to make a push. Wicklow are starting to close it down. It's like they know where they are at this stage of the race. All this is very finely tuned. It's down to meters, it's down to minutes, it's down to seconds. And they're beginning to push. They have it down now to 3 lengths. It's like they've found new energy from somewhere. They know where they are in this course after yesterday. They know when they're going to channel. This is where the moves are made. They have it down now to 2.5 lengths. They've pulled away now from Passage West. They've opened up a 4-length advantage over Passage West in third. This is beautiful. And as we look back, St. Michael's now beginning to challenge again. They're beginning to challenge Passage West for their position. It's all happening out here. Where else would you want to be in this misty, beautiful day in Portmagee? We're coming to the last marker. I look up at the land. I see conchays, cattle above in the field, a fine farmer. They're more like elephants than cattle as we round the last marker and we head for home. A beautiful rounding there by Ross. It's down to 3 lengths. They're beginning to feel the pressure with Wicklow pushing and pushing and pushing. Wicklow pulled away from Passage quite a bit now. And Passage are under pressure from St. Michael's. Conditions are just ideal for these boats now. They can see the island, they can see the bridge. As we look back to course, St. Michael's are in 4th, Muckross are in 5th, Temple No are in 6th. I apologise to the other clubs, we can't fall back too far, we have to stay with the leading pack. So we can't tell you those positions, maybe Michael would update us on those that were coming in for the finish. But up front, Ross answering the challenge. They've opened it to 4 lengths now again. Beautiful, steady, long rowing. This is the way to do it. This is the way to handle these conditions. No panic. No panic with Wicklow either in second. As I said earlier, they've pulled away quite a bit now from Passage West in third. Passage holding 3 lengths now on St. Michael's in 4th. As we come up for the island, a great feeling to be out in front here. This will mean a lot to Ross. This is what they've trained for all year. It's been an lonely year for any oarsman or any oarswoman with no races on to the pandemic. But you know, when you're coming up here in 1st, 2nd or 3rd of the year, even just to be out here, you'll forget all that for this 20-25 minutes. We're now up outside the island, the village is in sight. We're down now to 500 metres. This is where Ross want to be at this stage. It's going well for them. I'd like to thank all the athletes for making the long journeys to be here with us. You're more than welcome in Portmagee. It's a pleasure to have you. Thank you for all the effort you've made and the displays you've given. It has been wonderful. As Ross lead the line here, heading in for the finish in this fabulous men's quad final. In 2nd is Wicklow. In 3rd is Passage West. In 4th it's St. Michael's. In 5th it's Muckross. And in 6th it's Temple No. As we come in here for the finish. As we come up outside the pier, show your appreciation for these fine crews. What a performance here by Ross. Look at that, it's an exhibition. And so too with 2nd place Wicklow. You're doing credit to rowing as he come up the channel here, coming in for the finish. Underway here now in the women's solo final. What a star-studded cast we have here as we head out from Portmagee village. When you look through the field, it's just amazing the level that these women are rowing at. The high standards they're setting, not only in Southern Ireland but Europe and at the world stage. Look there as Monique heads out, Monica Dukasca. We've a Clarkland 1 and 2. Oh, this is beautiful. Lovely, lovely conditions. Already the race is beginning to develop. We've Monica Dukasca from Clarkland in first place by about a length and a half from Zoe Hyde rowing for Clarkland in second place. And then in third we have Miriam Sheehan and Castletown Bear. In fourth it's Sheena Healy from Arklow. And in fifth it's Zena Jordan from Arklow again in fifth position. All looking very, very comfortable. Absolute ideal conditions as the gentle mist falls. Monica Dukasca setting the tempo. But we've become used to this. What an athlete. A long way to go here. She will be challenged as the race will progress. And again, it must be said, Clarkland achieving such high standards. They are setting the ways for us to follow, and thank God we all intend following them. Great work being done up there in Clarkland. While I have this opportunity, I just want to say a big thank you to Teresa Keeney from Ardra, who has been with us here for the last 2 days. Micheál Murray Hertig has had his daughter to help him with commentaries, but I'll tell you this, I'd be totally lost without Teresa. She's a mine of information. She knows all the boats. She knows all the athletes. A wonderful person to work with. So a big thank you to Teresa. As we look back at the race, Monica and Clarkland still holding the lead there by about 2 lengths from Zoe Hyde and Clarkland in second. It's still Miriam from Castletown Bear in third with Arklow and Sheena Healy in fourth. And in fifth, it's Zena Jordan and Arklow in fifth. So all going well, conditions nice. We can see the first marker. We're right alongside the leading boat here. Monica Dukasca, just fabulous to watch her here. Her navigation skills are excellent. She's continually turning around, making sure she's in the right spot. And she is. She's 3 boat lengths out in front now from Zoe Hyde and Clarkland in second. All going well for her. As we look back the field there, we've Castletown Bear, then have Arklow, and Arklow again in fifth. We are 10 strokes now from the first rounding. Monica and Clarkland coming in there. She's holding a 4-5 length advantage now over Zoe Hyde and Clarkland in second. Things tightening up a little bit now for third place, but it's still Miriam Sheehan from Castletown Bear in third, but right on her stern is Sheena Healy rowing for Arklow in fourth. 2 lengths back in fifth. In it's Zena Jordan for Arklow also in fifth. We are now heading out for the furthest out marker. I spoke to a few of these athletes before the race and they're just so happy to be here and so happy to get a chance to row. So a big thank you again to Rowing Ireland for helping this to get underway and ensuring the safety of the athletes. And a big thank you to Portmagee and David Hussey and all the great helpers. They've come from far and wide to help us out and we appreciate every one of you. A big thank you must go to all the fishermen who really pulled us out of a spot on Friday morning. They really helped us out. the community really came together, so I want to thank each and every one of you. Every little way you helped us, it helped us a lot. Back to the race now. A little choppy here. Monaghan has rounded and heading around the furthest out flag rather. Killargan around in second, and still in third place it's Castletown Bear, but really being tried now by Zena Healy and Arklow in fourth. She's right up on her stern. She can sense it's her chance here. Maybe the rough is suiting her a little better out here. She can sense that this can be her chance, and she's trying to go for it. She's pulled away maybe another 4 lengths over fifth place from Zena, Jordan and Arklow in fifth. But this is all handing a little bit more to Monique up front. She's going beautifully out here. Another top draw performance so far by Killargan. Lovely to watch. A slight little bit of a problem there for Miriam Sheehan rounding. The Castletown Bear competitor having a little bit of a problem in the rounding, got stuck in the buoy, so it's cost her dearly. So things now are Monica Dukaska from Killargan is in first. Zoe Hyde from Killargan is in second. Sheena Healy from Arklow is now in third. Zena Jordan is in fourth. Miriam Sheehan is now in fifth. As we head away under Filehamram now. The last time we'll go under Filehamram today. And what a beautiful sight as Killargan come around it in first. Monica very comfortable now. She's probably a 5-6 length advantage. We're now heading for the last marker of the day before we head in the straight. And I noticed yesterday this is where Monica really begins to shine. She really shows her strength and power and the determination in the latter stages of the race. She's now stretching it out to maybe 6, 7, maybe 8 length advantage over Zoe and Killargan in second. In a good third position is Sheena Healy from Arklow. Going extremely well, a lovely stroke there. She's pulled quite a bit ahead now of Zena Jordan in fourth. I look back the boat there and I see our President of Rhode Island, Damon Coakley, is really enjoying things here today. Delighted he made the journey down, and he's getting to witness this top-class rowing as Monica powers it on. What an athlete. We're so proud of her, not just in South Kerry, but in Kerry and Munster and Ireland and Europe and across the world stage. She's setting all the benchmarks. I just wish we could get to see more of her rowing. As I said yesterday, we'd pay for this. It's beautiful. As she comes into the final marker, the bridges inside the little island and the majestic village of Portmagee. She rounds it in great style with a 78 length advantage over Killargan and Zoe Hyde in second. Zoe's advantage is cut down now to maybe a length and a half from Sheena Healy in Arklow. Sheena rowing well. Sheena's going out wide here. She looks ahead and she can see she's in the reckoning, not just for bronze, but maybe she could challenge for silver. It's too far out of her way to challenge for gold at the moment, but she's going to challenge here now for silver. We look back further in fourth, still Zena Jordan from Arklow in fourth, and still in fifth, Miriam Sheehan from Castletown Bear. As we head up now for the island for the final time today in this women's solo final. The mist beginning to fall a little heavier now, but it'll soothe and cool those sore muscles. A lot of rowing done by these girls over the weekend. We can learn a lot by just watching them. It's beautiful. As Killargan lead the line here with 1 and 2. Monica coming in here holding her 8-10 length advantage over Zoe Hyde in second. Zoe answering the challenge there in third from Sheena Healy. What a performance from Sheena. She's going to push for it again. She looks around now. She's changing her course a little. It's all down to tactics. She's going to make one more push. Can she close up here and challenge for the silver medal? But she'll have to find 3 lengths from somewhere. As we pass up by the island for the final time, I love this category because it's all down to the individual. It's all down about how willing you are to work, how dedicated you are. And by God, these girls are dedicated. Their list of honours is just too long to mention. I wouldn't have enough time to mention what these girls have won. We've a star-studded cast here today. Any young children, look out at this. You're blessed to have this rowing here in your channel, gifted to us by Rowing Ireland. What a pleasure it is to be part of this. As Killargan are coming in, 1 and 2, the great Monica. Look at all the thrills she has brought to Killargan over the years. In 2nd place too, Zoe Hyde. What a great athlete. Sheena Healy in 3rd. She can be proud of her performance as we head in the last 500 metres. Back in 4th, Zena Jordan, trying her guts out here. In 5th, Miriam Sheehan, Castletown Bear. They can all be so proud of their performances. They've given us so much over this beautiful weekend of rowing. And thanks again to David Hussey. Without you, David, we wouldn't have witnessed all this. You're a credit to rowing, a credit to Rowing Ireland, a credit to Portmagee. As we come in here for the final time, the tricolour very fittingly leading the line for the final time with a top athlete giving us an exhibition. As we come up now for the finish of the women's solo final, it should be all about the athletes, and that's what it is. Look at this for a top class performance from Monica, really powering it on here to the finish, and her buddy coming in 2nd. A great performance from Zoe Hyde and Killargan. Well done to Mike Fleming and Deirdre and all those that worked so hard in Killargan. And again, Sheena Healy from Arklow in 3rd. And don't forget, Zena Jordan and Arklow in 4th. Castletown Bear in 5th. And to all those other great athletes, as Killargan come for the finish here in great style, 1 and 2. And it's going to be Sheena from Arklow in 3rd.
Hello everybody, very welcome here to Portmagee for the Offshore Championships. It was a fantastic weekend of rowing. Really pleasure to be here as President of Rowing Ireland to see this competition. People have been training hard all year and it was fantastic that we were able to hold the event. Obviously, I'd like to congratulate the organisers for the fantastic effort that was put in and all the volunteers here today, the people on the safety boats, doing the timing and everything, but mainly and chiefly the athletes. I hope all the athletes had a fantastic time here today and had fantastic rowing. It was a real pleasure. The conditions were absolutely perfect yesterday. The sun was shining. And of course, I come from the flat water thing. We like conditions like that, but the coastal people like it a bit more choppier. Today, around at the top of the course, it was quite choppy, it was spectacular to see the boats coming in with the rocks behind and the waves crashing up on the rocks, and the athletes and the skill that they displayed in handling the boats. So to everybody who was involved, the athletes, the organisers, thank you very much and well done to everybody.
It was an absolute pleasure now Thursday night to start putting all this together. The help we got from everybody was amazing. I must mention our local fishermen who really helped us out Friday. Moved all the boats, the crates, we had Paul Devan down with his machinery, and all these things matter so much when it all comes together. We really gave an exhibition of what can be done with great community work. We couldn't have done any of this without Rowing Ireland. And it was a pleasure to have our President Eamon down here today to witness what has gone on. but the athletes are the important people here today. What they have done here for Portmagee in rowing was just amazing. And it has been an honour really to sit in a boat and watch them really slaughtering themselves to try and bring the top honours to each of the individual clubs. And the beauty of this is the small little clubs really shone, and it shows the hard work that's being putting in. And you know, we've only our quad for a year, but the kids are addicted to it. And I must give all the credit to one man, David Hussey here in Portmagee, who's on the board of Rowing Ireland. He's using his position very, very well, and he's taking the club in the right direction. I'd just like to again thank everybody. It's been an absolute pleasure, and I'd like to thank all those involved with the club, each and every one, from the tiniest job to the top job, for all their efforts. It's been a pleasure. Really, really enjoyed it. I just have to include Teresa, after all her hard work over the weekend, the work she put in to help out with the commentaries. She is so sharp. She knows every athlete. She knows every boat. She knows what they wear. She's a wonderful, wonderful individual. I believe her club are hoping to host this event in the very near future. And if she's going to have it, I'm going to be there, because she's been a pleasure to work with. So I just like to say thank you, Teresa.
Thank you very
You've
much.
been wonderful to work with.
Thank you.
I just want to congratulate all athletes who performed here today. As we said, the course was tight. The course was a bit tricky, but everybody coped very well and rode very well in the conditions. And I also want to thank everyone involved in all the clubs for making our day so much easier. The way you handle your boats, got your boats in, got them out, loaded, unloaded. It was a pleasure to deal with each and every one of you. And I can't praise the clubs highly enough that took part here today. There's a lot of people to thank. I'm not going to go through them one by one because I know I'm going to forget them. But I just want to really thank everybody involved in my own club in Portmagee for all their work done today. People have given hours upon hours of their spare time in the last couple of weeks and months getting ready for this event. And in the last couple of days, there's been long, long days put in, and this event could not take place without all of you people on the ground, young and old. We have our young athletes who row as well as rowing. They're out there helping, they're doing all these jobs. And today you have excelled yourself, and yesterday, and you have really brought the name of Portmagee Rowing Club up to the forefront of rowing. I also want to mention Rowing Ireland. I'm delighted to welcome a lot of the board of directors and executive of Rowing Ireland here today to come and share this event with us today. Thank you for your support, and thank you on behalf of all the coast communities for everything that you've done for coastal rowing in the last couple of years. We really appreciate it, and in a couple of years' time, when this rowing starts to grow and grow and grow, you will see the results of all the efforts you have put in for us. So thank you very much for your efforts here. Our friends in the community today, we could not have run this event without you. I just cannot thank you enough. The local community, the fishermen down the pier, you have been brilliant. There's men here on the skellig boats working. They gave their free time to help us putting out the course and helping us with the course. And everybody in the local area, the local community, you have pulled with us together and you've really done yourself proud. I want to really thank each and every one of you for every small and big job you have done for us this weekend to help us run this event.
4 years ago we had our first event in our club, and at that stage we had only a handful of boats. We were scrabbling around, people borrowing boats and chopping and changing just to try and run off the event. Since then the offshore rowing has just exploded, and listening to the clubs here today and the plans they have for buying more boats, I've no doubt that over the next couple of years it is going to just keep growing and growing, and we will have other events. I'm sure we'll end up with junior championships, masters, which a lot of people are asking for. These are all plans that we have down the road. But the sport is going from strength to strength, and it's all due to the clubs. So thanks for your support on that. So to David, the club, and all the community here in Portmagee, all we can say on behalf of Offshore Rowing is thank you so much for hosting us this year. So just to conclude, in keeping with tradition, I'd just like to present David on behalf of Portmagee with the pennant for the host club.
So we're just finished up the closing ceremonies there for the National Offshore Rowing Championships here in Portmagee. We're absolutely delighted. We had an incredibly successful weekend. Saturday we had a fairly long day of heats and a couple of finals, and today then we had our last 4 finals. I think the evolution of rowing has come to the stage now where when we started off a couple of years ago, you had long gaps between the winners, the second, the thirds, and the thing we saw today is that the gaps have closed way up. Now there's fights on the line, there's boats overtaking each other the last 500 metres. Everybody is fairly close to each other. So what we're going to see now going forward is more crews, more entries, the standard getting higher, the times getting faster, and more and more young people take it up. That's the one thing I took out of it today.
Yeah.
We had young people, I'll just mention one name as an example, a young fella there, Keelan Mannix, I'm not sure what age, he is 18 or 19. He came into the sport, he's gone home with 3 medals, I think. So that's the kind of effect we're going to see with the rowing going forward. It's going to become more popular, more base, and more clubs taking part in it. So we're delighted with it.
Yes, really growing. Was it 4 or 5 years ago we started it up, and there was barely maybe 40 people involved in the first one in Arklow. There was all but 15 boats in the country. There's now close to 200 boats in the country, which is fantastic.
There's just 2 people I'd just like to thank personally. They're both called Kieran, so it's easy enough to remember them. So the first man is Kieran Kerr. He's been the chair of offshore rowing since it was started. And his term is obviously a 5-year term, so he's heading for his last year now. We're obviously going to knock every last day we can out of him, but he has really been at the forefront of bringing offshore rowing from where it started to where it is. And we cannot thank him enough on behalf of all in the coastal for what he has done. He's a riverman himself, as he freely says, but he always likes to throw in that St. Michael's won the first offshore event 11 or 12 years ago. So he's really promoting the event. He's got his own St. Michael's Club in Limerick now involved in it, and he has done fabulous work, tireless work, hours upon hours, and he has to take the bulk of the credit for the position we find ourselves in at the moment.
He's been a major cog in the wheel of offshore rowing and coastal rowing, and we're indebted to him. He really brought out the whole strength that or power behind to push it forward, and he's always about the sport at the forefront, not about this, that and the other or politics. It's always about the sport itself, so we're eternally grateful for him, for guiding us through to that and achieving it as well.
The other man I'd like to thank personally, because I've seen what he's done on behalf of the sport over the last many years, but in the last couple of days, is a man that's been holding the microphone for you for the last couple of days, Kieran Cap Murphy, well known in rowing circles as his dad before him, with years and years and years, and his daughter is now rowing. He has done phenomenal work. He was there all week now. There was only the 2 of us at times, and it was difficult to get the work done. But today and yesterday on the commentary, he made the event. The amount of people that heard his commentary on the radio along with Niamh Hayes, and they were just saying, this is incredible. It brings the excitement, it brings everything right into the pier as he was commentating in the races. So on behalf of every one of us here as well, thank you, Kieran, for all the work you do for rowing. I see every minute of it, all the behind the scenes, the phone calls, all that kind of stuff. And you really have been a credit to rowing over the years, and it's when your commitment to rowing and the body of work you have done is evaluated over the years, it'll stand up there with anybody's commitment to rowing.